Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of SuperFantaFi. This being a show where we talk about TV shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and/or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the beginning after the end, Season 1, Episode 9. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So, first and foremost, obviously we see that Arthur is continuing his training on his own, trying to get better and stronger because, wants to protect his family. And obviously it leads to like bathing Sylvie because of, you smell and probably haven't taken a bath since you were birthed out of your egg. But then the Helstis family ends up specifically like the mom and Lilia end up taking him out with his own mom, Alice, to go like around the city, but also get him spruced up, new clothes, haircut, looking so distinguished. We're going to take you to the auction house at one point in time, which there's a whole bunch of royalty that shows up, so you should probably look the part, but also give him a tour of the city. And as they're going along having fun, they come across beast cores, because it turns out those are actually sold for a crap ton of money. They're worth a lot, which is and it's just like it's interesting considering like he has one inside of him. He's kind of like, I'm perfectly fine with the one I have, but obviously can't let anyone know he has one. But this is where we kind of dive into more. This is like a very Lilia-centric episode because she wants one because she believes that she can get like a beast core that'll allow her to use magic or awaken it inside of her. And she's desperate for it. And her mom's like, no, you don't need that. They're like, don't rush. It's like, no. She's like, there's even cheaper ones at the weapon shop. But even then, her parents are still no. So she ends up sneaking off on her own trying to get one. And Arthur's telling her, it's like, you probably don't want to go down that route because it's just like, it's not going to help you with magic, because it made him stronger, sure, but also I think he's coming at it from the perspective of like, even with my situation being what it was, like it put me through a lot of pain and he can't really explain that. So I think he's worried like if you go through this, you'll be going through a tough time for nothing. Like you'd have to go through so much, because I guess like if you don't already have access to magic and you gave yourself a beast core, like it would just put you through all that terrible pain for no reward, because like I don't think you could balance that out. I mean, who knows what the long end results could be. It could probably make it so maybe you never get magic at first. I don't know, because obviously once again like Arthur already had like his own monocore and everything by the time Sylvia had given him like her beast will. So so who knows what that would have been like if he didn't have access to magic at that time. But they end up running into she accidentally bumps into one of the students from the academy, and as you expect, they're hoity-toity because they are respected, and they kind of like the town has to kind of bend the knee to them because they are such privileged, and these guys in particular are privileged douchebags. And even the shopkeeper's like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, he sees that there's students from the academy and backs away. So like everyone in the town is going to walk on thin ice around him because they hold so much weight from being from the academy. So they can probably get away with a lot of stuff. And they're trying to start crap, with Lilia being like, oh, you need to kind of go further than like apologizing the way you did. And Arthur was ready to fight them, but luckily Lilia's mom comes to their defense and is like, oh, you're going to like try and attack a daughter of the Helstis family. And it's like, well, their family is from the auction house who donates a lot of money to their academy. So they're like, well, we can't do that. But then just to fling one last insult in Lilia's face, it's like, oh, I bet your family bought a seat for you at the academy. And it is kind of true. And that ends up happening later on when her dad's like, oh, you don't have to worry about it. In fact, saying, Arthur, you don't even have to worry about it. This isn't going to interfere with any chance of you at the academy. Like, we've already guaranteed you the seat. And Lilia's like, oh, so you want Arthur to go more than me? And he's like, no, that's not the case. Like, you can go as well. And it's just like hearing that notion of she's very insecure because she associates her being a mage with like her parents' happiness with her and their love, where it's like, I'm disappointing my parents. That's why she's so desperate to prove herself, because from a young age they were like, oh, we want you to go be a mage, and she's held on to that because she's like, oh, this is what they want from me. And so it's slightly what she wants, but it's more so she's doing it for her parents. But she is sounded doing it for herself. But her parents are misguided because like they didn't realize how much pressure they were really putting on her, like how much this was weighing her down. Because that's like, I mean, they aren't trying to rush her. They want her to take her time, but But like, even when they say like, "Oh, be patient, take your time," they don't realize how much of a weight that's like bearing down on her, because now it makes her feel like, "Well, I'm taking too long, I'm taking too long," even though they're like, "No, it's normal." But then you see kids probably like roughly around your age, maybe a little bit older, at the academy, and that's supposed to be where you are, and you've kind of determined that from a young age that's going to be your future because your family kind of put that in your head, and because they thought like, right, we thought like, if you become a mage, you're kind of set like for life in a lot of ways. So that's why they said it, because they were like, we want to set you up for the best possible future because we love you and we want to give you the best opportunities possible. So if you awaken as a mage, we'll send you to the academy, you'll become the best of the best, and you'll be good. And it's just like, they didn't, like I said, didn't realize the pressure they were putting on her. And obviously she lashes out at her dad and Arthur, because yeah, Arthur's this kid who just came out of nowhere. He's this gifted genius, and it just makes her feel smaller. She already had these insecurities. And the thing is, this was already bubbling before Arthur got here. Him being here just expedited it even more, you know? But I think it's kind of a good thing that it happened while Arthur was here, because he could help her, calm her down. He pulls a Tessia. He even says like, "Yo, I have this friend from where I was at, and she would put her hands on my face and calm me down." In fact, he shows her like the lights from those flowers in the elf village. And it's like, yeah, trying to, because it's such a hard situation, because he's like, he has that thought to himself where it's like he wants to like say something to her, but it's also like, right, like how can you, like, the haves versus the have nots. It's like, yes, she's from the prestigious family, but that gets used against her, because it's like, oh, if you get into this academy, it's only because of your family's connection, not because of your own work ethic and stuff like that. And it's also like, I might not be from a prestigious family, but like a lot of this comes a little naturally to me. Like, I unlocked this power at a very, very young age, way younger than I was supposed to. So it's kind of like, what can I say to her that won't just kind of be insult to injury, like adding like salt to the wound. So, and so Arthur tells her like, right, you want to learn magic? I'll teach you. And so at first I was like, there's no way. When Arthur sits down, he's like, oh, I sent her to where I trained. I was like, there's no way you did that. I was like, wait, you really did that? I was like, I'm just about to say to him, like, there's no easy way to get back to that elf village either. You'd also have to give them a heads up about what you're doing. Like, you know, I mean, I doubt they'd attack her on, but I was like, there's no way they did that. And like, the moment her dad breaks down, I was like, oh, is this kind of like a, like, trying to prove a point? And it turns out it was, because they were like, oh my god, our daughter got sent away, this is my fault, like I just wanted my daughter to be happy, I love, like, she could never disappoint us, like we will always love her. And that's what Lillian needed to hear, because Arthur could say like, no, your family loves you and they care for you, but it, like, hearing it from them themselves and having them say like, yo, we wouldn't have thought less of you, we never did, like, we're sorry we put this pressure on you. And Arthur apologizes because he's like, "Yo, I'm sorry. I know that was the cruelest thing I could have done, because I know like that pain it put my family through when I like was gone. So like to put that on someone else, I'm sorry." But and his dad, Lily's dad's like, "No, I totally understand. Like, you kind of had to open our eyes because we were kind of." You know, and now he recognizes like, I also was kind of pushing you to go to the academy, and he apologizes to like Reynolds and Alice of like, yeah, I kind of did that. Like, you had because he recognizes like, right, you just got reunited with your kid, and I'm already trying to ship your kid off to the academy. It's like, no, I should have let you guys spend, because even Arthur's like 100% sure, because he's like, I don't know if I want to go to the academy. He's trying to bring that up to his mom as well as to Hellsall's like last episode, and it's just, yeah, it just wasn't getting through. But the end result is they were able to kind of, make things better in the long run. So I thought that was nice. So Lilia still wants to go to the academy, but it's like, it's more now like, no, it's my choice. It's not because it's being foisted on me because of my parents. Like, I want to go to the academy for myself. And that's what I'm saying. Like, she partially did it for herself, but she was mainly doing it for her parents before. So, but Arthur's willing to help her train with the magic, and so teaches her and Eleanor the breathing techniques. It's like, once you see the lights, that means okay, you're tapping into the magic. So it's like, now that you've kind of taken the first steps, it'll probably take 2 or 3 years for you to fully manifest your magic and stuff, but they're going in the right direction. So I thought that was really nice. So it's just kind of a nice little wholesome, element. So I'm curious to see where things go next episode. Obviously, they tease us with that post credit scene with someone showing up at the auction house, and it looked like a carriage, and obviously it's some royal people can show up there because in the grand scheme of things, we haven't really been set up for what the entire story of this series is going to be. Like, we haven't met like what might be like a main antagonist or something like that. Because I think like like I said, I might have read like the like synopsis for this series like way before it started airing, but I don't remember. And I knew like I remember from the trailer it's mainly like, yo, he wants to get strong to protect his family. I mean, I don't know if that's like that might be just like all there is to the story overall, like, but at least like that's where the motivation that's probably always going to be his motivation, but the actual like story arc for now was like obviously getting back to his family, and now it's like I'm going to get stronger to protect my family. So that person that was there. So I'm wondering, like, okay, so is the royal person that's in there, like, are they going to be like a king or queen or princess or prince or something? And is that person with them super suspicious, or are they with someone? Because you're like, oh, that feels like that's like set up for like you look like very like suspicious. So I'm like, okay, we setting up you as a potential villain causing some trouble at the auction house or something. Uh, Obviously going through the trouble of giving you a post credit scene feels like, oh, that definitely like maybe villain setup, but there's some stuff at the auction house that they're interested in, so it might be a thing of either this person is with that royal person or powerful person that's rolling up, or maybe they're pretending to be with them so they can get inside the auction house and steal some stuff. A lot of speculation on my part. It'll be interesting to see where all of this ends up taking us going forward into the next episode. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.